China is a very important travel and tourism economy for the world. In terms of outbound travel, many countries across the world are positioning themselves to better receive and better gain greater market share from the growing number of outbound visitors from China. The United States, in just 4 months, have achieved an outstanding turnaround in terms of the capabilities they have facilitating visas in China for Chinese visitors to the United States, reducing down waiting times from 90 days to just 7 days in just 4 months. Remarkable. If they want to achieve something, clearly it can be done. Hugely important outbound market, but also a hugely important domestic market. In China, there are some 1 billion domestic trips on a yearly basis. A significant number when you compare that to the international figure, which is almost the same. So it is genuinely one of the most important economies in the world. And the Chinese government has embraced travel and tourism within the country as being a significant pillar of the economy. Now, to tell us more about what China is doing, we're delighted to welcome Mr. Peiwu Cong from the Chinese Embassy. He is the acting deputy head of the United Kingdom Mission and the Minister Councillor. Mr. Cong.
Minister John Penrose, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to attend the Hospitality and Tourism Summit hosted by the British Hospitality Association. In recent years, there has been a surge in Chinese tourists traveling abroad. This is because the reform and opening up policy in the past 3 decades has created a rapid growth in prosperity for Chinese people. But tourism is nothing new to China. Being a tourist is really a time-honored industry in China. I believe all of you heard about the Chinese sage Confucius. He is a great tourist in Chinese history. Confucius lived in the spring and autumn period. In his lifetime, from 551 BC to 479 BC, he spent 14 years traveling across most of the kingdoms in China at that time. And one of his most famous quotes says, "Is it not a great pleasure to have friends coming from afar?" This is a timeless thought. Today, it is a free advertisement for the tourism industry worldwide. In about 8 weeks' time, the Olympic Games will be staged in London. When we talk about the Olympic Games, we often use 3 words: faster, higher, stronger. And I believe these 3 words, fast, high, and stronger, are most fitting to describe China's tourism industry. Let me explain it to you. First, fast growth. In the past more than 3 decades, China's tourism sector has moved from strength to strength. Progress has been unprecedented in the history of Chinese tourism. China is now a large tourist country. In 2011, global tourist markets were subdued, yet China's figures show a different trend. 135 million inbound tourists visited China. Chinese tourists made over 70 million outbound visits. Inside China, there were over 2.6 billion domestic tourist visits. These figures show that China is now the 3rd largest destination for foreign tourists. China is now also the 3rd largest source of outbound tourists. At the same time, China's domestic tourist market ranks number 1 in the world. Second, high contribution is the next point I want to make about the Chinese tourism industry. Tourism is an important part of China's modern services sector. It is now a pillar industry in the Chinese economy. Its importance is shown in several aspects. Tourism has promoted Chinese economic growth. The value added generated by the tourism industry has accounted for more than 4% of China's GDP. Last year's data shows it created more than $300 billion. Tourism has boosted Chinese consumption. In 2010, domestic traveling expenses made up 9.4% of Chinese people's total consumer spending. Tourism has increased jobs. In China, the tourism industry directly employs more than 13.5 million people. Around 80 million people work in sectors related to tourism. Tourism has become one of the largest contributors to employment in China. My third point is great strength. China is fortunate to contain exceptional strengths in tourism resources. Chinese topography is vast and varied. In China, there are some of the world's most gorgeous and stunning landscapes for tourists to discover, from tropical islands to alpine mountains. Another fascination is exploring the world's longest continuous civilization. In China, there are about 50 UNESCO heritage sites. On top of all these attractions, China is a nation of multi-ethnicity. Unique folk customs and the exotic food of different ethnic groups are also highly attractive for tourists. The service quality of Chinese hospitality sector has been notably raised. Some of the world's top service standards are available in many leading hotels across China. Tourist facilities are being continuously improved. Ladies and gentlemen, China and Britain have many common strengths. We both have long histories and proud cultures. We are both large tourist countries in the world. And China and Britain are also important tourist destinations to each other. The latest statistics of China's National Tourism Administration shows these facts. In 2011, 370,000 Chinese made the UK the first stop of their overseas trips. That was an increase of almost 20.5% on year-on-year basis. In 2011, 590,000 British people visited China. Most of them were tourists. China-UK economic, cultural, and educational cooperation is deepening. This will in turn grow the exchange of tourists between us. The Olympic Games will provide a big boost. It is estimated that between July and September, more than 170,000 spectators and tourists from the mainland of China will come to the UK. This forecast is truly exciting. This means Britain will enjoy a golden season of receiving Chinese tourists. It offers Britain a rare opportunity to showcase British hospitality. I am confident that if we ensure stable and healthy development of China-UK bilateral relations, there is great potential for the Chinese and UK tourism industries. I look forward to our tourist cooperation enjoying faster, higher, and stronger growth. Thank you.